I'm going to show you guys how I turn this walkie-talkie recording into a synth pad sound. I also went ahead and made a tune with it. And here is the original recording. And so one of the first things that I did was put an EQ on this, and I went ahead and did some editing to the audio clip. And I also kind of wanted to see what note this was at. And so I looked at this EQ8, came over here to the frequency spectrum, and seeing that it was peaking at F-sharp 5. Not sure if that really mattered when I was making the synth, because I just went ahead and imported it inside of Faceplant, and it like automatically reads what it is. But sometimes that doesn't always work, so you kind of have to like adjust the tuning of the sample when importing it into Faceplant. And so I recorded the original sample into this audio track, and then boosted the sound of this recording. And then once I was done editing that, I went ahead and exported our sample so that way I could import it into Faceplant. And so yeah, I just want to show you guys my process here for what I did. I'm also going to be leaving the preset available for free to download, so if you want to check that out, it's going to be available on my website on the free samples page. The link for this will be in my YouTube bio. But yeah, if you want to download this for free, you can. So here is the Faceplant preset. I went ahead and imported the sample, and one of the first things I did was adjust the root note, so I just right click and hit F#5. Then I also adjusted the grain envelope so that way each grain can have a little bit of an attack, and I adjusted the length to around 100 milliseconds. And for my position, I have it set at 17, the pitch at 0.14, the panning at 50%, and the reverse at 50%, so that way the grains can be playing back and forth, and the panning of course for a stereo effect. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn these FX off really quickly. Alright, and for my envelope, I set the attack to 10, and I didn't really mess with the decay, sustain, or release, so I kind of just left everything as is. And the next thing that I wanted to do was modulate the semi-scent to create this kind of vibrato effect. And so of course I came over here to our modulator section and added an LFO, set the rate to 8, then also right click on the trigger here, and for the note trigger I set it to never trigger from note on, so that way this is constantly playing and isn't being re-triggered by the MIDI notes. And then for the modulation, I just came over here, right click on the semi-scent, and I hit 0.32, and so without this vibrato effect it sounds like this. And then with it, it sounds like this. And so yeah, it just kind of wiggles a little bit. I also forgot to mention the start position is kind of towards the end of the sample, so it's not starting at the beginning, it's just more towards the tail end of the sample. So now I want to show you guys my FX chain here. So I went ahead and grabbed a slice EQ and boost around 2253 Hz, and for the gain, I increased it by 15 decibels. I then added a distortion. I wanted it to have a little bit more drive. And then I added a snap heap and did some parallel processing with an ensemble. And so these are my settings for the ensemble. I have 8 voices. The detune is set at 45%. And the spread is at 50%. And for the gain, I just went ahead and left it at 0. And so it sounds like this. And then for this next snap heap, I did some more parallel processing with a convolver, and I have the gain down here set to -8. And then for the convolver, I just kind of left it at the first preset, which is First Baptist Nashville. I really liked the way it sounded, so I didn't really feel like I needed to change the impulse response on this. And then for the filters, I just have a low pass and a high pass. And so this low pass is around 1500 Hz, and then the high pass is set to 600 Hz. Then of course, the last thing that I went ahead and added was a limiter. And for the end gain, I have it set at -4. And that is my Faceplant preset for creating a walkie-talkie beat recording into a lo-fi pad sound. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Adios. That's our boy Fred up there. Dang, he's looking good.